I'm kind of loving this. And the Rakan, I think, is also a good pick away. There is still the Poppy open, so I do think that's kind of a smash hit, especially
huge
into the Nila as well. Obviously, Warwick early on doesn't have the greatest wave clear.
Yeah.
Does rely on his items to really get that going. You do need to be careful, though, in this longer lane. I know he just went back. Broken Blade. He's still going. The lethal tempo stacking.
Yeah, Broken Blade's looking to keep this one going on there. Wants to find the fear. Gigo flashes away from it so he doesn't get hit by the CC, but Gigo's going to need the Qs to come back up yet again. Q2 hits! First blood solo kill for Gigo in the top lane. Broken Blade is down, but now G2's looking for a counter punch here in the bottom side instead. Ayu's going to be in some danger. Slam back into the wall from LeBron, but now dashes away to try to escape. Flash from Hans Sama, and G2 evens up the score.
Really big that they get the kill. I thought he was going to hit level 6. I didn't see what it... but looking at the XP timer, there's no shot, right? Because even now, he's not really that close to 6. This is a Xin here. Yeah. And look for the steal.
Tatu throughout the wind becomes lightning, but didn't find a target with it. Now jumping in after LeBron. Jojo's ready to show up. We will at least get a smite fight over this. As there it is, TY for leash. FURIA secures themselves the first Drake after
this wasn't particularly close. And you see... BB as well knows this was... Yeah. It didn't even feel like it was a necessity, right? There's situations where I feel like if your wave state is really rough, well, you need to... But the wave state was fine.
We might just have another problem here, Chronicler. As right back in he goes. Gigo's trying to make this one into another solo kill! Gigo is making Broken Blade look foolish in this 1v1.
Wasn't, but obviously... FURIA doesn't know that as Gigo on his way. The timing could be here for Skewmont to save his top laner.
Yeah, this would be a big one there for Skewmont. Immediately Broken Blade trying to jump in with a counter ulti as Gigo has gone too far, and it's a beautiful shutdown from Skewmont. He's ready to chase him down with a my ulti. Toots tries to escape with a seismic shove defensively, but Caps is on the hunt. He clears the unraveled earth. Another charge of the Spirit Rush is ready to go, and Toots is trapped as the feat of warfare is claimed by G2. Presence to stop what would have been another disaster up there in the top lane. If Skewmont's not in the right spot, all of a sudden Broken Blade is even further behind.
Skewmont.
Toots now could be in a bit of a rough spot himself. Skewmont ulti not quite ready to go again on the Vi just yet, so Toots can get plenty of distance in time as FURIA is going to start up the next Drake themselves, but they got to be careful. Hans and LeBron might be able to stop him, but instead Hans is going to get caught out, has to use Killer Instinct defensively, and now Skewmont is coming in for the counter attack. FURIA have overplayed their hand yet again. LeBron is ready to flash forward and try to make something happen when it becomes lightning firing right back. Tatu down to 50 HP. He's got to continue his retreat. Nobody dead on either side. But G2 has the full health.
Went over, well, the only couple of grubs now, obviously, went over to FURIA, but not going to be continuing that objective stacking. And this is kind of
what it's time for those bigger fights so that they can deal with FURIA in a team fight scenario.
Let's see the ward getting spotted there.
Oh boy. Broken Blade, defensive ulti, trying to walk away. Skewmont flashing out of the way there of the seismic shove and unraveled earth. Remember, you can't use the vault breaker over it or the rocks are going to interrupt you. Uses the flash instead since it's a blink and manages to get to safety. But that first turret is going to fall and it'll be FURIA taking it. There is the payday on the grubs right
see
there.
More and more of as this game continues. The ability to turn fights into a moment's notice, get yourself a numbers advantage as the Herald goes through, is traded. So right now,
feats of warfare were claimed by G2. The first turret was claimed by FURIA. Both teams now sitting on 2 neutral objectives. If Skewmont gets caught out a little bit here, Exhaust will be committed on that one. They're going to put the quickness into it as well. Skewmont nearly dead, but not quite, and it'll be Gigo taking the 3rd kill of the game for FURIA.
In League of Legends,
just walk. Like, yeah, just walk faster than the guy can dash. You don't have a problem. As Gigo might have a problem here. It's a 3-man play coming in from the side of G2. LeBron and Skewmont ready to join up for this one, but the early flash from Gigo to get himself out of the range of danger guarantees that G2's collapse will not result in a kill. They've still overloaded this bottom lane. They're still looking to force down the tier 1 turret, and they should be able to get away with it, but now FURIA pushing the tier 1 over in mid at the same time. Broken Blade might get cut off. Tag with the wind becomes lightning. Toots trying to get away alongside Ayu, but Toots is going to be your target as Hans Sama looks for a little bit more damage. Apotheosis from Ayu. A lot of damage back into Skewmont. Tatu's going in. Ayu's got the kill to Skewmont, and now Broken Blade's in the middle of everybody. A double kill back over to Nila. G2 have lost 2. LeBron trying to retreat now. Caps caught out. Shot down down. Triple kill. Ayu.
Guys, that's Anila. Just jump into her like that. It's a delayed engage. It's kind of staggered from G2, as Ayu might straight up die.
Yeah,
Ayu should be fine.
Okay, he's good. He had the minion.
Fine.
He had the minion. It was calculated.
Oh my God,
he's
the
good.
mode game on point as well.
Yeah. He's got this, and at the same time, FURIA has now earned themselves control over the bottom side river. Yes, they barely miss out on the tier 1 turret mid lane. 1 minion auto attack will kill that later on. The dragon is going to go over to Tatu. Hans Sama in a bad spot here, has enough distance to escape the infernal chains. But what about the Rakan? What about the grand entrance? What about Hans Sama's exit? FURIA 7-3.
People that are ready. Gigo even comes in from the back there. And a lot of the previous... Oh, Labrov.
I don't think we have time to talk about previous plays, my friend. We're already into the next, and Labrov is already going back to Fountain.
And on the previous kills, even the solo kills, I don't think those were necessarily of too much value, because they're just kills. It's a little bit of money, but as we saw...
Instead, going to give them another problem to think about, summoning up the Rift Herald from earlier here in the mid lane. The tier 1 turret will die just to the charge alone, so they'll claim that one. Rift Herald will not be able to get the charge off.
But at any moment's notice, you can suddenly be 2 members down. Oh, Tatu?
Yeah, let's see here. Tatu, Broken Blade, defensive ulti over the wall, gets himself away to safety, but now he's not ready to join up here in this fight. Caps is up in the top lane looking to take down that turret instead, as the Otacon is down to half HP. FURIA's got 5 men down here. Ayu's the one tanking up that Otacon, though, and you got to be careful. If Ayu gets debuffed, you're going to have a problem. Labrov wants to find the Keeper's Verdict, but he doesn't find anything. Tatu jumping right back in as immediately the quickness back on Labrov. The Poppy in some danger. Guigo ready to follow up. Labrov not going anywhere except a black and white screen as Otacon is claimed by FURIA. Gigo even now right back up into the top side. Caps wanted to get the tier 2 turret, and yes, he will, but can he get away at the same time? A flash for a flash as Caps has a blast cone to get himself away to safety. Caps.
That for Drake just being given over here.
I've been very impressed with the game so far from FURIA, and now moving on to Soul Point. This just shows how critical it was earlier that G2 did manage to secure that second Drake for themselves.
Yeah. Absolutely outrageous, but there is a defensive ward there. Oh.
This could be a huge... This is the most fed member of FURIA, and he is now getting caught out. If Gigo dies before the fight starts, G2 might have just found the pick to turn the game on its head. The shutdown over to Skewmon, but it will be traded back 1 for 1.
Ayu.
Now Ayu's ready to show up, but he's isolated. Ayu's over on the other side of the fight. He's all alone. He has to flash over the wall to join up with the rest of the team, but Caps is already down. Tatu's got the kill into Caps, and Toots is not done chasing. Broken Blade and Hans Sama are on the run. Toots flashes over the wall, and BB tries to bite back, but the dog's been declawed, and Broken Blade is down again. Right when it looks like G2 found their moment, FURIA found G2.
That's Nash. Straight up. It's amazing. Tatu on the Xin Zhao also, every time he goes in, someone on G2 dies. His decision making has been so good. Now with the Baron.
Here we go again, man. Broken Blade with another defensive ulti here with the Warwick. Gigo is behind enemy lines. Now getting jumped on by Skewmon over the wall, but Gigo is not down. Yes. The healing from the Aatrox baits in Hans Sama, and FURIA is furious in the face of G2 Esports. The inhibitor turret in mid lane broken as the inhibitor is about to follow. Gigo is back in the base, but he's got his teleport. He's joining back up with the rest of FURIA. It's a 5-man push with a Baron against 3 G2 defenders. FURIA has made their way onto the Nexus turrets. The first is already down. G2 are out of sorts. They cannot defend. Caps has to flash away from the Apotheosis just to